thoughtful. Have you ever looked at a tree and felt like it was trying to say something? Maybe not in words, but in quiet, still moments, like it's holding stories, memories, even secrets. Reverent. This is a story about one apple tree, a small, simple tree in a quiet village. But what if I told you that tree changed a boy's life? And maybe, just maybe, it might change yours too. Chapter Lesson 1. There was once a village far from the noise of cities where children played with dust on their feet and dreams in their eyes. In the middle of this village stood an old apple tree. Its bark was rough, its branches strong, and every spring it gave red apples, sweet, juicy, and loved by everyone. But for one little boy named Tom, this tree was more than just a tree. It was a friend. Lesson 2. Tom was small, curious, and full of questions. His home was simple, one room, 2 chairs, and a mother who worked from morning till night. He had no toys, no books, and no phone, but he had the apple tree. After school, he would run to it, jump onto its roots, and talk. "Do you think I'll be great one day?" he'd whisper. And the tree, in its silence, would listen. Lesson 3. Sometimes Tom would lie under the tree, look at the sky, and make wishes. "One day I'll go to the city. I'll be someone important." The wind would blow gently, and the leaves would rustle as if saying, "Yes, you will." On his loneliest days, the tree gave him comfort. On his happiest days, it gave him shade. Every apple felt like a gift. He didn't know it then, but the tree was teaching him something bigger. Lesson 4. As years passed, Tom grew taller. His legs stretched, his voice changed, and the city kept calling him louder. One day, he stood before the apple tree and said, "I'm going." The tree stood still. He picked one last apple, bit into it, and walked away. He didn't look back. And the apple tree? It stood quiet, like always, holding its love inside. Lesson 5. The city was loud, fast, and full of lights. Tom worked hard. He cleaned shops. He studied English late at night. He spoke little, but he listened a lot. People laughed at his clothes, his accent, his dreams, but he remembered the apple tree, its calm, its patience. So he kept going, resolute. "One day," he whispered again, "I'll be someone important." Lesson 6. It took years, long, tiring years. Tom failed. He cried. He ate less so he could buy books. He took jobs no one wanted. But slowly his English improved. His ID grew stronger. One day, in a small room, he opened a tiny school. Only 2 children came. But to Tom, that was a beginning. Lesson 7. The school grew. More children came. Their eyes were like his, full of hope, full of hunger for something bigger. Tom told them stories. He told them about verbs and nouns, but also about dreams and trees. "You don't need big things," he said. "You just need a place to grow, like my apple tree." Lesson 8. In time, the school became known. Tom got invited to speak at colleges. He wore simple clothes, but his words were rich. He didn't use fancy English, just clear, honest words. Words that came from struggle. And everyone listened. Because truth has a sound. And Tom had lived it. Lesson 9. One day, many years later, Tom returned to the village. He walked slowly, his eyes full of old memories. The village looked smaller, but the apple tree, though older, still stood tall. Its leaves were fewer, its trunk weaker, but when Tom touched its bark, he felt something warm. "I came back," he said softly. Lesson 10. Tom sat under the tree like he used to. This time, he wasn't a boy with questions. He was a man with stories. He placed his hand on the trunk and whispered, "Thank you." A breeze passed through the leaves, and for a moment it felt like the tree smiled. Lesson 11. Tom looked around the village. Children still ran barefoot, mothers still called from their doors. The well still sang with splashing water, but there was something missing. No one sat near the tree anymore. No one climbed its branches or picked its fruit. It had become just old, forgotten, like a faded picture on a dusty wall. Lesson 12. That night, Tom stayed in his childhood home. The same walls, the same wooden bed, but now he had books. He had journals, and a voice that had spoken on big stages. He sat by the window and stared at the apple tree outside. "You gave me everything," he thought. Determined, "It's time I give something back." Lesson 13. The next morning, Tom walked to the village center. He spoke to the elders. He spoke to the school. Passionate. "I want to build a place here," he said, "not just for learning English, but for dreaming, for asking big questions, for sitting under trees and finding answers in silence." Some people laughed, but others listened. Lesson 14. And so, Tom stayed. He cleaned the ground around the apple tree. He fixed its broken branches. He painted benches nearby. He put a small sign at the base of the tree. It said, "The Dream Tree." He invited children to come and listen, not to him, but to stories, to language, to silence. Lesson 15. Every day children gathered. Tom sat with them and told them easy stories in English. "Once," he said, "a little boy didn't have a phone or a toy. He only had a tree, and that was enough." The children laughed. Curious, "Was that you?" they asked. Tom smiled. "Maybe." Lesson 16. Tom taught them new words, slowly, patiently. Words like hope, growth, courage, return. He used pictures, he used stories, but most of all he used feeling. He told them English was not just a language, it was a door. Encouraging. "And every word you learn," he said, "is a step towards something new." Lesson 17. Soon something strange began to happen. The tree, too, started changing. New leaves appeared. Tiny apples grew again. Birds returned to sit in its branches. It was as if the tree was waking up because love had returned to it. Kindness has that power. It can heal anything, even an old apple tree. Lesson 18. Tom's small school by the tree grew into a center. More teachers came, some from the city, some from nearby towns, but all of them had one thing in common. They believed in the power of slow learning, kind words, and deep roots. The apple tree became their meeting place, their symbol. Lesson 19. Visitors came from far. They sat on the benches. They listened to children speak English with pride. They saw drawings of trees on the walls. Puzzled, "Why the tree?" someone once asked. A little girl answered confidently, "Because trees don't run away when life gets hard. They stay. They grow." Lesson 20. Tom didn't care about fame. He didn't care about awards. But one day he received a letter. It was from the National Education Board. They wanted to honor him for his unique method of English teaching and community transformation. Tom folded the letter and placed it near the roots of the apple tree. Lesson 21. Years passed. Tom became older. His hair turned silver, but his heart stayed young. He still walked slowly around the village, still sat under the tree, still told the same stories. Thoughtful. Repetition, he'd say, is how we learn, and love is how we remember. Lesson 22. Children who once sat under the tree became teachers. They returned calmly to help others. Some even opened schools in other villages. They called them Dream Tree English Centers. They taught not just grammar and vocabulary, but also kindness, patience, and listening, the real tools of language. Lesson 23. Thoughtful. Tom started writing a book. Not a thick one, just a small notebook filled with lessons. Page by page, he wrote in simple English. Calmly, Lesson 1, it said. Listen to the silence. Lesson 2. Learn one word. Use it with love. Reflective. Every page was a piece of his life, his tree, his journey. Lesson 24. People asked him, curious, Tom, what was your secret? Laughing, he'd laugh, calmly. I didn't have one, sincerely. I just didn't stop believing. I believed the tree was enough. I believed words can heal. I believed even the poorest child can speak to the world if someone just listens long enough. Lesson 25. Somberly. And then came the day no one expected. Tom grew very weak. He couldn't walk to the tree anymore. The children came to him instead. They read to him, sang for him, told him their dreams. Ernest, I want to be a teacher. I want to write books. I want to speak in English like you. Thoughtful. Tom listened, like the tree once did. Lesson 26. Solemnly. One morning the village woke up to silence. Tom had passed away in his sleep. There were no loud cries, just stillness. The children came. The elders came. They placed candles and apples around the tree, and someone whispers, he has become part of the roots now. Lesson 27. Reassuringly. But Tom didn't really leave, not in the way people think. His stories lived on. His voice echoed in every lesson. Every sentence taught near the tree still held his spirit, and when the wind passed through the leaves, it still sounded like a whisper. Keep going. Lesson 28. Proudly. A few months later, a child wrote a poem in English. It was called The Boy and the Tree. It ended with the line, inspiring, he planted no fruit, but he grew a forest of dreams. That poem now hangs in every classroom of the village. Lesson 29. Reflective. Today, the apple tree is a symbol for English, for belief, for slow, deep learning. People come from cities to sit under it. They don't always speak, but somehow they understand that silence can teach. Thoughtful. That a simple story, well told, can change a life. Lesson 30. Empathetic. So if you're listening to this story today, maybe you feel like Tom once did, unsure, small, and searching, thoughtful. Maybe you think your English isn't good enough yet, reassuring. But remember, the greatest trees start as tiny seeds. Gentle. You don't need big things to begin, just patience, love, and one word at a time. Calm. Start where you are. Speak what you know. Inspiring. And grow like the apple tree. Quietly, surely, beautifully. Engaging. Now it's your turn. Say this with me. Firm. I am learning. I am growing. I am enough. Ah, hopeful. Keep going. The world is waiting for your story.
If you loved this video and want to improve your English faster, do these 3 things right now. 1. Hit that subscribe button, because I drop powerful English lessons like this every week. 2. Smash the like button, so YouTube knows this video helped you. 3. Share with friends, because everyone deserves to speak English confidently. On the Control English, you get the world's simplest English tricks. Tap the bell icon to never miss a new lesson. Today's challenge: share this video with 2 friends and tell them, this channel will change your English game. Thank you. Keep learning. Keep growing.